Welcome, gamers, to this week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We are on episode number 67. My name is Craig Perales, and the man bringing back white in style, Mandrew Montemayor.
It is the end of October.
It is, and I figured I'd pop on the nice pumpkin-y orange Last Call Gaming shirt.
I figured this was kind of like hockey jersey-ish. I feel like hockey's a winter sport. I don't know if it really is. I don't watch it, but...
You've been to one, though.
Yeah. Same place that serves that bad beer we drank.
That bad, disgusting beer. So, guys, we're going to get into plugs first before we start moving the show forward. Pause it now. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram at LastCall Productions. Follow us on Twitter at LastCall PRODZ. And if you guys want to listen to the audio-only version of the podcast, check us out on iTunes, Spotify, CastBox for all your audio-only pleasures. Now, as you guys know, we like to drink beers in this here neck of the woods. So if you want to drink along with us, pause it, grab yourself a tasty beverage of choice. But we are currently drinking the Barrio Blonde Ale, picked out by the Disney Funko Pop, sitting at a 4.7%. Now, on paper, this thing looks really incredible. It's local, it's independent, it's native, employee-owned. And it says on the bottom, employee-owned 100%. I do not know what that means. I don't know if this is like a Green Bay Packer thing where you can buy stock as an employee.
Well, here, what it actually means is if you look at it, it means that the employees own 100%.
But all 100 of it?
All 100.
Okay, well, somebody in corporate America is not making sense to me. This is coming out of Tucson.
Why make sense when you can make dollars?
Ooh. So, Andrew, you tasted a sip out of it. It's the 2018 North American Brewers Association Awards by the Silver Medal. And I got to taste it. It tastes pretty silverish.
I feel like there's just a lot of fancy words on this, but it kind of tastes like it was brewed in somebody's bathtub.
See, I disagree. It's hard to find a blonde ale that I disagree with. And although it tastes very like I'm in the Barrio drinking this thing, I don't like it. I think it pleases all the taste buds. It's a nice independent craft beer.
I didn't say it's bad, but it's not the best that I've had better.
Had better?
I've had better.
I've had better. So if you guys have had the Barrio, check it out. Again, we thank Disney Funko Pop for the recommendation. I compared to the last two beers we had, it's nice and cleansing the palate.
Oh yeah, I would say this is better than the last two, hands down.
Enjoy it. So, done with plugs, done with beers, guys. This episode, although in name alone is nothing special, is the first episode we've done since we have cracked the 1,000 subscriber barrier. So we were really excited about it. Took my boo out for a nice dinner and some drinks last night, and I gotta say those drinks were quite good. What do you call them? They were like the bombers or...
Yeah, I don't even remember the name.
Yeah, there was these crazy drinks that because we go to our bar that's up the street here, and it was like a strawberry one, a cucumber one, a mango one, and a blueberry one.
Was it blue or black?
Blueberry.
Blue.
Those are blueberries in that drink. And they were all very tasty.
Yeah, I think the cucumber might have been the best.
Cucumber was extremely tasty. So, guys, thank you for the 1,000 subs.
Thanks so much.
I know a lot of it has to do with the giveaway we're doing, but please hang in there with us because we're going to keep giving away more stuff and give you grade A beef content.
I like that.
You like that? All right. So, moving into the first story, guys. As luck would have it, developer CD Projekt Red has pushed back Cyberpunk 2077 again to December. This, as of right now, is a 21-day delay. This comes after the fact that even Andrew and I just did a show recently where the game went gold. And by definition, it means that the game's playable, it's ready to complete, and it should be ready to ship. So Adam Badowski and Marcin Iwinski released a statement. It's a big one. I won't read the whole thing to you guys. I'll throw it up if you want to pause the video and read it. Go ahead. But essentially what it boils down to is that they wanted to take some time. And, they were saying that we're still working from home. It is harder than it looks. And our biggest issue so far has been to ship and test this over the 9 different platforms and versions that it has to do. This is the Xbox One X and S, the Series S and X, the PS4 and PS4 Pro, the PS5, the Stadia, PC, all that stuff. And they're saying it's taken them longer than what they originally liked. But it goes on to address the going gold, or the passing certification standard that it hit. And they're saying that, yes, it is completable. The game is playable, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop working on it. And we're going to take more time to make sure that the game you get is exactly what we want it to be. So there's a couple things to look at, some positive and some negative, and I would generally say the game being pushed back isn't terrible. I mean, we already knew this game it's been pushed back.
I'm actually kind of glad because now I have a little more breathing room.
It's been pushed back 3 times now, and so at this point I was like, okay, Cyberpunk's getting pushed back again, no big deal. The main way I look at it is almost like when they want to give you the best version day one, right? They don't want you to patch it day one and because you only get one first impression. And if Cyberpunk, which is going to be arguably probably the biggest game of this year and maybe even next year, if it's bad when you first open it up and play it, you're not going to want to keep playing. Like if we would have popped open Avengers, like how we did, and it's a bad game, it had so many bugs, we and you aren't going to play that anymore. Like we didn't like it. It kind of fell flat. If you were to tell me in 21 days, Avengers would have ran perfectly, then I would have waited 21 days. And if we're in the concept that we know Cyberpunk is just 21 days away from being good on day one launch and not buggy as shit, then I'll take 21 more days, I guess. But it just kind of, well, I don't know. Your initial thoughts before we dive any further. What did you think with Cyberpunk pushing again almost a month?
Personally, it doesn't really affect me. If anything, it gives me more time to beat like Assassin's Creed, which is right there. Yakuza 7, another launch game.
The other arguably biggest game of the year.
I think if anything, too, another way that this works out is that means we still have a chance to meet Keanu Reeves, because by being too late in the year, it's now out of the Game of the Year awards this year, which, of course, there's not going to be any sort of physical thing. So that'll be up for next year's election. So if it is that good, we still have a chance at meeting Keanu.
Okay.
But I think more importantly, the reason that it's getting so much flack is because the messaging's been bad across the board as far as when this game's going to come out. Because initially it was stated for release April 16th, which it way missed the mark.
Yeah, I would have been out by now. We've been playing it. I would have beaten it by now.
Yeah, I could have beaten it like 50 times by now. So they moved from that to September 17th, which again, another huge jump. Still couldn't make that mark. To November, which honestly should have been the original thing, and I would have been fine with that. And now saying, hey, we're going to go from there. If they just originally said November, gave ourselves more time, and I don't understand why people don't do this, especially knowing everything that's going on right now. Put it out further than what you think it's going to be, but it's still acceptable for your company.
Bring it back if it's better.
And then, bring it back in. Like Assassin's Creed, they moved up a week or whatever for the launch of the X. Mm-hmm. So bring it back in. We finished it early. We're going to launch a month sooner now. We're going to do whatever now. So that's, I think, the biggest reason for people being upset. I know there's a lot of people that are pissed off about it, and I would have to say that that's the biggest contributing factors. It's just been one thing after another. And I think what's even funnier is I sent him a picture of a tweet.
Oh my God, I died.
Because even the the PR who run the Twitter account didn't actually know about it, but someone tweeted them, hey, just ask them again, is this game going to be out before I take this whole week off of work? And they're like, yeah, go ahead and check it in, get in there. And then sure enough, right then the next day, all right, we're delayed another 21 days.
Yeah,
so
the next day it's
now pushed. Anyone who's requested days off to where it's not convenient to be like, hey, I need this time so that way I could, do whatever, use my vacation however you want to, you're SOL.
Yeah, because the other thing it kind of did, and it just, I mean, to most people, they're really not going to care, the average gamer, but in our lingo, when the word going gold is almost meaningless now, right? They just made the word completely null and void because it's an antiquated term that if you went gold and now you're still going to push your game back, then I never need to hear that phrase again. I never need to hear that it's going gold, because you always will raise an eyebrow at anyone else that say it's going gold if they've had previous pushbacks moving forward, because all you can say is, oh, well, they're going to pull the Cyberpunk and they're just going to push it back. So that is one thing that is kind of misleading because we were happy on the last episode. Like, oh, gold, it's good, it's coming. Yeah. And then they surprised nobody and moved it back.
Staying true to form is surprising absolutely no
one. I gotta say that really moving forward, there's a couple things that you gotta look at. Is again, going gold is meaning nothing anymore. It kind of sucks because CD Projekt Red really just embarrassed themselves, and this isn't like 1 or 2 times over the year. This has been all year. Like they're coming off really great games like Witcher, and this game is kind of just a stumble out of the gate. So they got to make sure that this game is doing fantastic. And I think the last thing is they're kind of losing credibility here. Because of what happens if it pushes again one more time to January 15th of 2021. So it sucks because they had a lot of good graces with fans, and now they're not, because the other thing we got to at least touch on is that they're getting like death threats now from people saying, "Oh my God, you got to push this game back again." And they had actually come out with the statement saying, "Guys, like we're just people too. We're just working on a game. Like there's no reason to send death threats and things like that." And again, if you're one of these people that are, relax, guys.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
It's just a game.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it gives you more time to breathe. Go spend time with your family. Go play a different game. It's 21 more days. I understand, and I have preached on this on a lot of episodes. If you put in the time and you've requested vacation, obviously some is easier than others to get that time back if you the allotted time. And if you don't, bummer. But it's not worth sending like a death-threatening letter to a company that's all they're trying to do is give you the best game possible.
Yeah, if you're someone who does that, go fuck yourself, because that's a piece of shit thing to do. Like, regardless of the game, they could delay this thing for another year. That's still completely unacceptable.
Yeah, so it's got pushed back. They're saying that it's coming. They want to give you the best version. Now, what's really going to be the slap in the mouth is if this game does come out and is buggy. If there's one or two things wrong with this game that's, I don't want to say game breaking, but noticeably bad, they're going to get shredded.
I want to say
because then they're gonna go, well, what was the time for? You took off 6 months, you push it back 6 months,
yeah,
and this game is still running badly. That's another subject, and then they're gonna get ripped.
I would say I didn't really have any problems playing The Witcher that I remember, not like Skyrim style.
I played The Witcher like that, 9 years after it came out, though. This is all gonna be a day one game that people are waiting on, that have been anticipating, and if there's something that's gonna be bad, then they're gonna get mowed down because they're gonna well, then what was the point of you guys preaching this whole? We got to make sure it's perfect. We got to make sure it's perfect. If it's not perfect, you're fucked.
But yeah, I think it'll probably end up with patches anyway. It's a part of patch culture now. It is what it is.
Right. So that sucks. I mean, it sucks if anybody did take the time off. I don't know who really would for CD Projekt Red, or not CD Projekt, for Cyberpunk, because this isn't a part of a series. This isn't a game that's like the next Halo or the next Spider-Man or the next Witcher. It's a new IP coming out, so it's like you really don't know what to expect. But it sucks that it's been in this kind of spiraling pushback shithole that it's been in the whole time. So, I mean, hopefully for the best, but I'm looking at it from Andrew's point of view. Good. It just bought me another month of finishing Valhalla on time and playing Miles Morales, within a comfort zone instead of rushing Cyberpunk.
Right. So if anything, I'm just a little bit more relaxed about it now.
So anything else you want to add on that?
Nope.
So let's move into another piece of bad news, guys. This is just bad news stories today. Halo Infinite, another game that got pushed back, and at this point with an indefinite date, has lost another top director, Chris Lee. Now, in a Bloomberg report, and I'm reading this from Kotaku, it goes on to say this. Let's see. According to a report from Bloomberg, Chris Lee, the 343 Industries studio head who oversaw production of Halo Infinite, is now off the project. Quote, "I have stepped back from Infinite and I am looking at future opportunities," end quote, Lee told Bloomberg. This apparently follows a post-delay leadership change-up in which, per Bloomberg's report, Lee's role was sidelined after Microsoft handed the keys over to series veteran Joe Staten in August. In a statement, Microsoft said that Lee, quote, "remains a Microsoft employee," end quote, but his time with Halo has come to an end. Last year, Tim Longo, then creative director of Infinite, also left the project as part of a leadership shakeup. After a demo earlier this year failed to make a splash, Microsoft delayed the game from its holiday 2020 release window to 2021. At the time, Lee attributed the delay to, quote, "multiple factors," end quote, including COVID, and said that the extra time, quote, "will let us finish the critical work necessary to deliver the most ambitious Halo game ever at the quality we know our fans expect," end quote. Now, there's more to the rest of that, but let's take this at face value, Andrew. What is going on with this game? Is this game in more trouble than we thought? That not only has it been pushed back, but last year they lost one of the biggest directors, and now just recently they lose another guy that's been almost hand in hand, infamous with Halo, Chris Lee. I don't even know what to think, because it's all speculative. I mean, we can't really say if it's a bad move that he's gone or if it's a good move. We don't really know where this game's at because they haven't really said anything to us about it.
Well, I want to say that, he still is an employee of Microsoft, so, if it was anything really, I think, that bad, they probably would have just let him go.
But it's just like a fake position at this point.
But I did actually pull up some past information, and this is all from, has to do with Bungie, by the way, too. Bungie. Halo has actually historically been a troubled production game. So that's why I'm not really too worried about it. I'm not, upset about it. It just is what it is, and it makes me kind of think, but I'll have to wait to see more. But Halo Combat Evolved went from being a real-time strategy game to a first-person shooter, and then from being a Mac-only game to Xbox and then later PC. So that was a troubled development game because they changed completely entirely how you play it and what system it even runs on. Halo 2, a year before the game even launched, scrapped the entire graphics engine that they had been working on and then completely rebuilt a new one, and that's what they ended up launching with. 3 actually suffered from a big visual downgrade from what they actually initially showed off and not promised, but as far as the first big reveal. And that game had extensive crunch. And then even more recent ones like the Master Chief Collection had the worst launch, to where the game was absolutely unplayable. And now, realistically, I wish they had delayed it, not had so much on there. That game would have been a lot better had they just kept it to anybody else could have fucking told them to do. But that game runs fine today. It took them a long time to get it together, but now that game does work. So historically, Halo has not been just an easy, all right, we're a smooth riding game, we're just gonna A to B, no problem. So I'm really not too worried about it just yet. I will have to wait to see more. That, and again, I'm honestly kind of, even when they delayed this game the first time, I wasn't expecting anything early next year at all. I didn't think it was a delay from, okay, we're going to go from November to January. I felt like it was a delay from November to November. Yeah. So I'm not expecting this game till the end of next year. Honestly, I might even be saying early January to March of 2022.
Yeah,
with how it was looking to me.
And yeah, definitely that's how it looks. I mean, if your track record's not good, then I guess we can kind of be like, oh, well, they just notoriously are bad at making games day one when it should be ready to go. But I guess my only say would be the difference is they were really just kind of changing around projects and what they were doing with it. Were any of those losing top tier lead directors on this? And that's where kind of more people are nervous, is because, okay, it's one thing if you got to change graphics. It's one thing if you got to change the campaign. It's one thing if you got to rebuild the engine. It's another thing when the two guys that have been leading it forever, your old captains, are two of them have left within a 12-month period. And that's where people are going, okay, well, then what is the issue? Is it because what they're kind of saying is it's been big creative differences. And if it's creative differences, I don't know how within the last 5 years, they've been making this game. Right now is where it's coming up when the game was already planned on being shipped. That's why I'm kind of just like, well, then where's the confusion? Where's the problem with the lead development? I mean, you're bringing in, who was the cat they were bringing in? Joe Staten and his team. So it's like, what are they bringing in to rebuild? Is it just the graphics which they got slammed on that demo? Is there something functionally wrong with the online multiplayer? I mean, I get that they have problems in the past, and maybe new blood is what was required versus, the old guys that were on there. But that's just kind of where it's just like, well, what is going on? Because clearly it's not just one thing at this point.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, for all I know, it might even just be something story-based either way. So, I'd wait to see a little bit more because, again, they clearly kept the guy. So who knows? Maybe he just, after the first dude left, he stepped up and he wasn't fit to lead. And who knows? Maybe they'll promote this, Staten from, I think he was brought back more to kind of redo, like, the story and how the narrative and everything like that fits. So maybe he will take on more kind of a, all right, well, now I'm going to be like a directive figure to where I'll just tell you how everything's supposed to be, and it's, it's up to everyone else to really make it, how it is.
Yeah. So tons of things. I don't know what's going on. It's saying that my computer is about to run out of battery, but it is plugged in, so I'm not sure what is. Oh, there we go. Huh, I just flicked that thing. Okay, sorry guys. I was a little in panic mode. I was like, we can't let it crash before we get to video game questions of the week. But again, though, yeah, Halo, this is just kind of, it's all speculative. We can't really dive into it because they're not really giving us any reason of why he's still working there. They're not saying what the problem is that they're rebuilding. And the thing that really is my problem is Cyberpunk at least keeps giving us superficial days of when it could get released. We don't know shit about Halo. Halo just goes sometime next year. So again, is it early next year? Is it late next year? Because there's a big difference between 3 months and 9 months. So,
right.
Sorry, I went off topic there. Did you see that pop up?
Yeah.
I was just like, So, anything else you want to add to the Halo Infinite controversy?
I'm now ready to rip it up.
Andrew, would you like to go first or second?
I will actually just go first because mine's a little short one. And that's just that they've announced with a small teaser, nothing major, that Netflix is picking up a live-action Assassin's Creed series now. Now, this is going to be a TV series, not a movie. So, who knows how it's going to fit canon or what they're going to do as far as it goes. They haven't released any sort of information, no actors or anything like that. Again, it's just name is all we really got. Hey, we're doing Assassin's Creed. So I think it's pretty cool. I hope that it's not turning into a case of like how, even though it's completely different companies and completely different things, like when Telltale picked up so many different IP, that's kind of what led to their downfall. I hope that's not the same thing with Netflix, because Netflix now has Assassin's Creed, The Witcher, Resident Evil. They have a CG series, which they also just posted an image of Leon and Claire, and I actually thought that looked pretty good, true to form for them. But they also have a live-action Resident Evil series that was supposed to be there too, as well as Castlevania. So they have 5...
And Dragon's Dogma. I just started going on the rabbit hole, and I started watching that the other day. I was like, oh, where's this been hiding?
Yeah, so 6 different Netflix video game series now. I hope it's not too many irons in the fire. On top of all the other stuff that they do, like Stranger Things.
Witcher, right?
Yeah, what's that new one you were just watching? The Zeus one or something?
Blood of Zeus.
Blood of Zeus. So on top of all their other originals, I'm sure they could afford it. I just hope they have the manpower to sustain something like that. So,
yeah.
Either way, I mean, I'd be excited to see what's going on with it, because so far, historically, out of all the adaptations and stuff that they've really done so far, I think the weakest one, the one that I thought sucked the most, was Death Note. I didn't think that one was good at all, as much as I wanted to love it. And even like the series Unfortunate Events, I didn't think was like crazy good, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, Netflix kind of has a bigger track record of their original IPs on movies not being that great. But their TV shows so far,
yeah,
have been knocking out
Castlevania,
yeah,
absolute fire.
And the big thing they sat down with Ubisoft was saying that they're interested in doing other live actions as well. So the show's the first one out the bat, and then they're saying they want to do animated and anime projects. So I can see it kind of being because I mean animation can be drawn on paper or on computer, so it could be kind of a CG kind of looking show, and then also like a more Eastern style anime looking. And I hope they canonize it. I hope it's all. I don't know if it necessarily needs to tie into the games. Like the games could be one universe that all linked together, and then maybe the shows and stuff like that, or maybe future movies.
Yeah, I wouldn't
be
mind
tied like that.
Canon,
yeah, so.
Especially with the way Assassin's Creed's all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care about the canon anymore. I just care about what's going on in the game that I'm playing.
Yeah, because that movie First Attempt with Fassbender, I didn't see it. I didn't mind it, but it got bombed. Most people are saying it's like one of the worst video game movies in a long time, which sucks. I thought it was okay, but yeah, if they want to restart it, I mean, nothing wrong with that. Let's get it. And that logo looked pretty sick. Like the little teaser with the Assassin's Creed with like the Netflix logo.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, that looks crispy. Anything else on that?
Nope.
Okay, so my riff, guys, is that if you, like us, picked up Super Mario 3D All-Stars, the game that recently came out on the Switch that contains Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, then you noticed that there are one of the not many complaints, but one of the biggest probably complaint was the camera. You could not shift around. You couldn't invert it. Now, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but think of how you play. If you couldn't play moving up is up and down is down, and it was not changeable, I think for me, I could not play games. Like, I cannot play that way. So when you play this game, in an era where we can easily change camera functions or inversion controller functions, it's weird that it didn't start with it. But there's a lot of guys, like my buddy Dave, he plays inverted. Like, he can't play it. And I was talking to him, and I told him, I'm like, oh yeah, you know that you can't do that. He's like, oh man, I don't know if I'm even going to buy it because I can't do it. Well, as hope would have it, there's a free software update coming November 16th that will now officially allow Mario 3D All-Stars to be inverted. So
yeah,
kind of a cool thing that they are giving to people. I mean, obviously they heard the backlash. They're like, hey, why is this not a function? But here it is. It took a while, but here it is.
I think what's kind of weird is that I think some of the 64 games I play inverted on the camera. And I don't remember if they came like that naturally, but I remember when I was playing unless it's just been a while since I played Mario 64, but I felt like looking around felt really weird and it didn't feel natural. And I felt like on the 64, up was down and down was up to look around.
Yeah,
and some games
I can bounce around, but generally speaking,
most of the time I play. Well, normally up is up, down is down. But for that game, like even just like looking up for up and down for down, I was like, oh, this kind of feels really weird. I wonder if I used to play it. It's been so long.
Right.
But like it really felt like would have been the better option. I wanted to change it, but couldn't.
Right. And now you can. So look forward to that. Again, guys, that's November 16th. So let's move on into Andrew. What are you playing? I know you finally beat Yakuza. You're officially done with everything on it, correct?
Yeah, officially done with as much as I want to be done with it. Absolutely loved it. Look for a write-up here soon on Instagram. And I just wanted to get into
next gen.
I wanted to get into something light. So I'm trying to do The Walking Dead from Telltale. I'm doing something Frontier. I forget what it is.
Oh, the Final Frontier?
Yeah, is that the last one?
That's the last one. And
what's the third one?
There's like 5 different ones. You did the one with the chick with the sword?
Yeah, Michonne's.
That one.
Yeah,
So
I did Michonne's Tales.
There's the last one with Clementine, and then there's another one where I think like the Hispanic brothers or something like that.
I forgot what it is, but I'm playing whatever the third overall one is.
A New Frontier.
Oh, A New Frontier. Okay.
Yeah, so I got it right here. You can borrow it.
So I started that. I'm actually going to try to beat the 3rd and the 4th season of that before anything comes out, and I'm just going to stay away from big games. I still have Call of Duty and stuff like that. I'm playing every day too, so games. I feel like that'll be perfect to get through.
I've been slacking. I keep saying I want to beat Doom Eternal. I'm down to 2 episodes or 2 missions left, but I was telling Andrew, I've been diving into TV shows, and my mind's just been warped into just catching up and binge watching. So I'm going to change the narrative a tad. Knocked out Dragon Ball Super. This is where my game time has been going. Knocking out Dragon Ball Super, finished Blood of Zeus in a day, and then my mom turned me on to the show on Netflix called Queen's Gambit, and I watched that in one day, and it's good stuff. Check the review on Instagram. It's about this prodigy this female chess player, and I gotta say, I went down the rabbit hole, and it was fantastic. So I have one more day. Tomorrow's Halloween, and I don't plan on doing shit, so I'm going to finish Doom Eternal tomorrow. Facts.
I'll believe it when I see it.
So let's move into video game questions of the week. And we're just going to do 2 today, guys. And the first one comes from my brother and yours, Gino Perales. And he says, video game question of the week. Being console players for the most part, what game that is exclusive to PC would you want to be able to play on Xbox? Now, we were kind of talking about it a little bit earlier. There's not really much on PC that you're craving, right?
No, I can't think of anything. I don't have my phone with me. I know there's this shooter. I forget what it's called, but you can use all kinds of attachments and different stuff like that. No,
that'd be a game I'd like you to play. PC only and virtual reality.
I thought Half-Life came to like Xbox, didn't it?
Like
with the orange box.
Orange one, like way back in the day. But I think all the new stuff has been exclusively PC. Maybe. I don't know PC.
I don't really know too much for me to like really be jealous of, so I really couldn't say. If anything, maybe I would have to say like a modern Counter-Strike. Not that I would play it, but I do like to watch competitive shooters, especially stuff that I'm not good at. I like to watch that stuff on like Twitch or just kind of whatever. Mixer when it was around. God rest its soul, but not my carpet.
Hey, that carpet's beat. I would say that I've always just wanted Command & Conquer. It used to be on PlayStation 1. They kind of did some shitty ones on the 360, but not really the way I remember it. I want some Command & Conquer, or even StarCraft for that matter, would be kind of cool. But I think other people would argue, like, I don't know why games like Dota 2 and Dota and shit like that isn't like on a console, especially when we live in an era where you can just plug in a mouse and keyboard. Right. Like, why that can't play. And with all the MMOs that are online, like we're playing Elder Scrolls, and we're playing DC Universe, and we're playing like Dungeons and Dragons stuff. Why is WoW not just on there yet? Like they're revamping all their stuff. I don't know why. If you just want a more player base, they just don't put WoW on there. Because I would get back into it if I could just play it on a console.
I wouldn't.
He wouldn't. I don't think he ever started. So thank you for the question. Leave yours down below. Next question comes from Mike M. And he says,
"You look like more of a RuneScape guy, anyways."
I used to play RuneScape. I used to get down on some RuneScape. But we were watching some videos the other day. It's way different than the way I remember.
Oh yeah,
it.
yeah. That was you and me that was watching it.
Okay, good. Because I'm like,
it's
like RuneScape. Like it's not the way because I used to go after school, go to the public library, which is down the street. Jump on me, Gino, Nick, log in your hour at a time and play RuneScape. And it's just when we looked at it, I'm like, damn, it's been a minute. It's been years.
Dude, it's like completely.
I'm glad it's still rolling. Like that just shows how strong those PC fan bases are, where those guys are still logging in and still playing the game and doing the updates. So kudos for them. So next question comes from Mike M, and he says hashtag next gen. Question I have: with new games crossing over into film, which franchise that hasn't had a media crossover yet would you love to see get put into development, and who would you cast as the main role? My choice would be a great sci-fi horror movie of Metroid Prime with Adrian Palicki playing the lead of Samus Aran.
Now, let me jump in really quick first because I still have to think of my answer, and I hope that you have yours. But
I got 3.
I actually wrote him back. And that's something, and I talked to Craig about it too. That's something that's always been my first choice, not actress-wise. I would have to think of that. But my first choice always as a franchise for like a game to movie adaptation would be Metroid in horror, just like what you said. Something maybe along the line of like Alien, or maybe Alien's a little faster paced, still that horror actiony. So either way, that was definitely a good call, and I was super stoked to see you say that because I was like, damn, that's something that I've always wanted. I'm glad that other people kind of have that vision to see Metroid as that kind of game where you're being stalked by something versus I'm just this fucking unstoppable chick just mowing through fucking everything.
I'm just nervous or not nervous, I guess would be concerned if would Nintendo ever do a sci-fi horror movie with one of their biggest properties. That's what kind of sucks. Like, and the fans in us would love that. But is Nintendo ever going to release and go, yeah, make a hard, scary horror PG-13 movie out of it? But great one. I was thinking, Dying Light was a movie I'd like to see in zombies, fast-paced zombies, because I really like I Am Legend with those quick zombies. And if you did something like that on the parkour system, I thought someone maybe like Tom Holland, because he's way into that stuff, or like a Zac Efron would be kind of cool. One of those guys that are quick to move, young bodies that can handle that. The other one I was thinking of was there was that old picture floating around of when they did the Contra one. Do you remember when it was like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone? And it was like if they were in Contra in the jungle, it was like Rambo and Predator doing their thing. I was thinking if they were to redo that, it'd have to be completely like a WWE movie. And you'd get like The Rock and Batista running through the jungle as Contra. And like John Cena would be the main enemy at the end. I had one more, but I'll unless you still need time. I got another one.
Yeah, sure, go.
So I was also thinking, if we did Borderlands, sticking with The Rock, I would say you do Borderlands 1, you do The Rock as Roland, you do Alicia Vikander as Lilith the Siren, you do Nathan Jones as Brick. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with who Nathan Jones is, he's the guy in Troy, in the very beginning, Baragaris, whatever, that he runs up and stabs in the trap right there. That huge monster of a looking guy.
Ajax?
And then I would say, no, not Ajax. The guy in the beginning, but is there no one else?
Oh.
And he does it in the very beginning, that big old dude. And then let's just throw Jared Leto in as Mordecai the Sniper. That is my cast. And there's 3 movies that I think haven't been tapped or touched for any type of movie or TV development. Anything? And you don't have to think of the actor. Just think of a show or a game that you would like to see develop. I'll think of the actor.
I would actually like to see Dead Space because I love horror movies more than anything in the world, and I think Dead Space is a perfect horror game too.
You just get Carl Urban like in Dread. You don't have to show his face. Wear the mask the whole time.
That's what I was thinking. Someone like Carl Urban could definitely
Pedro
do that.
Pascal in Mandalorian.
Because it's not, or even like Josh Brolin, just any like middle-aged guy that can definitely show like I'm hurt and I'm fucked up or whatever. And then in the second one, maybe be like a little beefier, have time or whatever. But I think that would actually be a cool adaptation, especially after seeing something like, maybe along kind of like how like Pandorum was, almost kind of reminds me like Dead Space-ish. And I actually liked Pandorum. I thought it was a pretty cool movie with Dennis Quaid. But I love Dead Space, and it sucks that franchise kind of really isn't around anymore. But more than anything in the world, I would kind of love like a Metal Gear. It would have to be very
I was thinking about that earlier, but I'm like, who the fuck is playing my Snake? Because that's what I couldn't land on.
I have no clue, but it would definitely be like a dialogue heavy game.
Yeah. Maybe we just make it cartoon animated and we get David Hayter to come back and do the voice. Or are you leaning on Sutherland?
It'd be David Hayter dubbing over fucking David Spade as Liquid.
Awesome. So thanks for the question. And guys, if you get this far in the video, leave your recommendation down below.
Kiefer Sutherland can come back as Liquid, but with his Lost Boys look, with the bleach blonde mullet.
Mm-hmm. They're Metal Gears.
Metal Gear.
So thank you for the question, guys, and feel free to keep leaving them. Leave them down below. We will answer as many as we can on every episode that we can. But as of right now, guys, you're here because you got to know what we're giving away. And this quick clip will show you exactly what we're giving away and how you can enter and win it. Hey guys, my name is Craig and this is Mandrew, and this is the official Last Call Gaming giveaway for the digital PS5 or the Xbox Series S. Now, to be entered into the contest, you must like these videos and you have to be subscribed to the channel. You will not be viewed if you are not subscribed. Now, to be a eligible participant, you must be in North America or these parts of Europe. Now, we are flexible on this, guys. Here is a big list. If you do not see your country on there, feel free to email us or send us on Instagram or Twitter or the comments and ask if your country is eligible. If it is within our budget to provide it, we will look it up and we will get back to you, letting you know that you are eligible to enter. Also, guys, if once you win, you have 1 week to respond. So if you hear your name being called on episode 69 that you are the winner, you must reach out to us, because if we do not hear from you, we're going to keep doing the contest until we actually hit the person that has won that's reached back out to us. Now, the way you enter is in the comment section. Leave us a question, leave us any type of criticism, but you have to write #NextGen. That is going to be your entry moving forward in the episodes, how we recognize that you are entered in. Now, the contest is going from episode 63, which has already happened, all the way up until episode 68. Now, what you can do is you can go on all of those and enter #NextGen, and that will give you an entry for each and every one of those. Because on episode 69, which is November 13th, we are going to announce the winners. So by episode 68, the last date will actually be November 12th. You will have till 12 p.m. noon, and that's going to be Arizona time, because that is where we reside, and that's the way we're going to base the clock off of, guys. So make sure you follow those simple rules, and if there's any confusion at all, write us, comment to us, because we will get back to you and we will clarify it. But just to reiterate, contest is between episode 63 to 68, and episode 69 will be the winner announcement, which is going to be November 13th. And that is all we have to say for the Last Call Gaming giveaway, guys. Good luck.
Good luck.
Alrighty, guys, that is the contest. That is what you can win. That is how you can win it. Other than that, guys, that brings an end to this episode. Andrew and I really just want to give a big shout out, guys. Thanks for getting us across the 1,000 subscribers.
Truly blessed.
It's been the biggest smile we've had in the last 3 days, and super enjoyable. And we're hoping we're gonna keep growing. We've seen a lot, and we recognize you guys. We see a lot of people in the comments, and I'm trying to write back to as many people as I can. Yeah.
As soon as I instantly saw it, and Craig woke up and texted me for the first time today, I had to call him just instantly right off the bat. I was like, "Hey, dude, just so you know, we did it. We finally did it."
I didn't even know that that's what he was talking about, but once he said, "Hey, man, congratulations," and or something along those lines, I was like, "No way, did we crack 1,000?" Because we were studying along the lines of 970, 980, and I'm like, I didn't know it would be that big of a burst in less than 10 hours. Checked it, loved it, and we're still going up, guys, so super appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
From the bottom of our hearts. So, guys, until next time, unless there's anything else you want to add?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys. Be safe. Be incredibly safe. And do me a favor. Send us pictures. Go on Last Call Productions, our email or on Instagram or something.
Costumes,
I want to see some cool costumes. If anyone's doing some cool Halloween video game looking costumes or whatever, send it our way. I would love to throw them up on our next episode.
Let's use that as SideReel for next week. Send us some costumes.
If we get enough. If we get enough cool costumes from you guys, we'll throw it up on SideReel and you guys can take a look at everything else. But until that happens, my name is Craig Perales, and that is Mandrew Montemayor. Cheers. So what's going on?
What's new? Nothing. Took our uncle out for a beer. Turned into 8.
8?
Turned into.
Look at you.
8 is in 8, or 8 is in 2, or 4 twos, 4 doubles. 4
Well,
tallies.
it was really only 3 beers. I had 2 talls and a pint. And I was cashing out. He's like, "You want one more?" I'm like, "What's your birthday? Do you want one more?" He's like, "I'm like, all right, one more."
You guys eat?
Nah, I didn't. I don't eat Buffalo Wild Wings. Not the one here.
At least someone's finally getting the memo.
I don't drink there
I told him
either.
to him, like, I'm not eating.
Preach that for
I'm like, you can
years.
eat whatever you want.
I don't drink there either. Overpriced beers.
Been saying
But
that
the
last 4
pretzels,
years.
the pretzels are good with the cheese.
I can go to Buffalo Wild Wings for pretzels.
They're making me thirsty though.
Oh,
Yeah, they
fuck.
do make me thirsty.
Nice. You know the way they
Yeah.
make them all nice and doughy.
Hey,
man,
you know
he's
what? It's like the dinosaurs. We had our time. Now it's time for people like Christina who are getting the cauliflower wings that are immaculate to thrive. We had our time in the sun, and it was fun. But
it was fun for a while.
For a while.
For a while.
He's a old Mongol. So when he gets
Not
drunk,
the
he
wings.
starts telling stories. Dude, he's just
Oh,
fucking
he's got Mongol.
wild,
Fuck
dude.
that shit. Here comes
Here
Mongol.
comes Mongol.
Some
so
Mongol
he just
stuff.
told me and I told him some of our stories, and he's like, "Oh, you're fucking crazy." I'm like, "You know, not as crazy as you," but he's like, I was telling him stories about you and Flagstaff and fucking, wandering off and walking to people's houses, and he was fucking eating that shit up.
It's a fine wine sometimes, you know?
He's like, "I fucking no one understands it." It's like, "I just want to party." I'm like, "I feel you, brother."
Preach to the choir.
Wait till I fucking invited you out.
That surge has been done for
I gotta
us.
drive home.
How old
It's
is
like
he?
you get wasted, 50s. But
that ship sailed.
no, dude, he's a fucking genius.
He's a heart.
He's a triple OG, from what I hear.
Triple
MF.
OG or triple bypass?
Triple OG.
No, he's a thin guy.
Nice thin guy. Is that me?
I see not all of us turn our phones off.
My do not disturb, I guess, isn't working.
Yeah, next time I'll dream on, but the next time I do, it'll be something a little thinner.
In theaters next weekend, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 30-year anniversary. #1 will be in the theaters.
Riverside?
I just tagged you on Facebook. No,
We go back a ways.
Hocus Pocus and fucking what was the other one?
I looked at
Night Before
Riverside, I didn't
Christmas.
see it.
They both made $500,000 each.
I didn't see it in Riverside.
last week.
I looked them up the other day, and there was like nothing on there that I recognized besides
Probably.
Tenet.
But yeah, Teenage Mutant Turtles is supposed to be making a move.
When's this?
I
Give me a day.
I just-
Give me a
I
day.
just saw it today.
I want the day.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday? Hey, book it then for a week.
Why
No, I'm gonna
book
be
it?
gone next
I'll-
Saturday.
Why book it? I'll give you the
I'm going to
preview.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
The boys getting. I'm flying, baby. Oh yeah, we gotta do the show on Wednesday next week because I'm leaving
To Ryan's?
to Ryan's baby shower. Personal.
I don't get a call.
He only invites friends. He only invites his friends.
He must have known I was working.
Oh, here.